Welcome to Spider-Verse Minute, the tri-weekly podcast where we watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 1 minute at a time. I'm Sean Slater.
And I'm his sister Caroline.
And today we're starting with minute 53, which opens with Miles choosing not to turn invisible and ending a minute later with Miles choosing to run instead of swing.
I have titled this minute, He Took a Bagel.
He did. What a terrible, terrible person he is.
Yeah. Rude, they aren't his bagel.
Starting with Miles choosing not to turn invisible, I did love, their little back and forth of, good time to turn invisible. Yep. Not going to? Nope. It was a great, okay, yeah. I guess we're going to do it this way.
And then I like how Peter just immediately turns and goes, selecting a bagel.
Yeah.
And
acting super normal.
Spider-Man is funny. I get that a lot. Did you notice Miles says hey?
Yeah, I love his, but it's in his man voice.
Oh yeah, no, that's what made it amazing. And literally everybody pulls out a gun.
Yes.
Except one female. Did you notice this?
Is it the girl in the background?
No! She's at, the front table.
Oh, I see her, yeah.
And she's on... This is the part that cracked me. I never noticed this before. And I'm like, oh my gosh, everyone actually has a gun. And I went back and just double-checked, wow, everyone really has a gun. And I'm like, wait a second. She's still in her chair. And so I watch it. This woman at the front table on the right is just sitting with her laptop and her coffee. And first off, she looks annoyed. But then she rolls her eyes.
Yeah.
And just goes back to work. And I'm like...
It almost, it cuts a bit, but it almost looks like she's putting her head down. She's just oh, I'm too sick to deal with this. I don't want to deal with these people today. Yeah.
I want to know that woman's story. I have many questions for that woman. Are you okay? How often does this happen?
Yeah.
Is this normal?
How, everyone's guns are just these, little briefcases they carry around.
Right.
What?
They're all in fighting poses. It's amazing.
Yeah. Some of them are dual wielding.
Yeah, it's what is happening right now? This office, no wonder their security is kind of crap. Everyone has a laser gun. And then Peter does a switchy. Yeah. With Miles, and then they just start bolting.
And then Miles is like, wait, what do I do with a bagel? I can't eat this right now. Yeah. And so he turns around and throws the bagel.
Well, before he throws it, they all chase after him. And the same woman who's Spider-Man yells, he took a bagel! That's her priority, not the fact that Spider-Man is here.
Yeah. And I love there's two great parts to the bagel gag. There's one where they needed to figure out what to do with the bagel because they obviously couldn't have Miles with a bagel coming up. And they probably could have just made it disappear, have him start to swing with it and drop with it. But they're oh, let's just have him throw it at them. Or just throw it away. And then they had it so it just doinked the scientist, and that was it. And then later on someone was oh, we should just put bagel, have that be the pop-up text there as a joke. It was a joke pitch, and they took it seriously and added it in later. But the animators weren't the ones that added it in. And so when it came back with that, they're oh, that's great.
It is still my favorite gag in this movie. The whole bagel sequence, the journey of the bagel, is my favorite gag in this whole movie. It's such a minor thing. And I love how they said it, too, with Peter, gonna take a bagel in the plan. And they get to the cafeteria, and he selects a bagel. And then, the woman yells, he took a bagel. Miles throws it, hits someone, and it says bagel. It's I don't know why it kills me so much.
And they set it up so much earlier that you kind of forget about it at this point.
Right?
It's not it's not the same as like setting up the song in the beginning of the movie to now bringing it back now.
Mm-hmm.
But it is like, okay, we're gonna set up a gag at the beginning of this joke. You'll think that was like the punchline, like
you think that was the joke.
Yeah, and then they bring like the fact that they bring it back again is great.
Well, like you think they're just gonna like end it there. Like maybe it's like, oh, Peter's selecting a bagel. Oh, that's the punchline. He remembered. Ha ha ha. But then it keeps going, and you're like, oh my gosh! Until there's this beautiful point of just silliness of man gets hit with a bagel that says bagel, like.
And then they jump off of the balcony into the woods, and one thing I thought of is that their webs totally should have caught some branches. There's like one point where Peter directly like swings underneath a branch and it doesn't cut, like it doesn't break the web. You just keep swinging.
It's either a really weak branch or some.
Well, no, the branch is like he just goes under it and then like it pretty much like passes through the web, and so maybe he's got some magic web that he's saving just for himself.
He's amazing. I love his line to Miles where it's like, the best way to learn is intense, life-threatening pressure.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, is that how you learn? Okay. I've been doing it wrong.
I mean, that probably is how like Peter learned to do a lot of things, though.
Oh,
like just in the middle of fights, he's like, okay, well, gotta do this right now or else I'm dead.
It kind of reminds me of, like, in a weird way, the first Deadpool movie when Deadpool was trying to figure out his costume.
Yeah.
And it's just all of these different iterations of the costume until he gets it right. Like that, but with
PG.
more people shooting at you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's about the same number of people shooting at him.
Good point.
Which, it's a good thing that either these laser guns are like super in beta, or that these are literally scientists that have never held a gun in their life, because they have terrible aim.
I think it is more of the second, where it's like they have the guns, but they never actually used them before.
Yeah.
So they're just bad.
Because, yeah, they're pretty bad. They can't hit anything.
They can't. They really can't. And it's not like they were, like...
far away trying to hit things.
Yeah, or like they were swinging beforehand. Because if they were swinging, okay, I get that's a difficult target to move. Or to hit. But, I mean, come on, guys.
And I like how Miles just immediately runs into a tree.
I know!
And then falls down, and the branch just dunks him in the top of the head.
He just gets up and runs.
Bloop. Okay, yep.
I never noticed this before, but I noticed this time around that Peter actually takes out some of the scientists to help Miles.
Yeah, he swings back around, takes one of the guns from him, and then takes out like another 3 or 4 in just like a really cool swingy thing.
Mm-hmm. And I realized Peter's still barefoot.
Yeah.
How has he not stepped on something?
Maybe he has, but he's just got really tough soles.
Oh,
and so
maybe.
He's used to it.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I'm just like, I started kind of chuckling at the end of this minute. I'm like, he's still barefoot.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck?
Maybe the snow just made his feet so numb that he can't feel anything.
He's fine.
We're gonna, take a look at it. There's just gonna be like rusty nails sticking out, so many splinters.
No.
Just
no! I can't deal with those images. he's gonna get like back on the bus, and he's gonna have just this single rock jammed between his toes, and he's like, oh, whoops. Do you have anything else for this minute?
There's just 2 other things.
Okay.
That I want to touch on real quick, and that's just how good looking the woods are.
Yeah.
They're just, it's really well done with, like, they look realistic. They look like woods without, like, looking like artificial woods.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really done really prettily and feels like real woods. Like, those are trees you would expect to find there, and, like, the way the branches and everything look.
Yeah, and I love that the leaves on the trees are all like different colors too. Like most of them are orange, but there's some red, some yellows. Like it's not just orange trees.
Yeah,
like
I'd be really worried if they were orange trees because those trees would be dead.
Yeah.
Because oranges do
It's like,
not
oh
grow
no.
well in cold climates. Uh, and then the other thing I liked too was the mixing of this music.
Oh my
And
gosh, yes.
this, we start to like, at least this was the first time I really noticed the mixing of a couple different themes that they use, where it's got the scratches that they used in the subway, quote unquote chase, um, and like that kind of dramatic, upbeat sort of music, or not dramatic, but the upbeat music. But then it mixes in some of the more dramatic, scary music that they were using, like with Kingpin and Prowler. As well as there's a bit of the like confused theme that they use, or like it's a confused kind of poking around, searching sort of theme that they use in a couple places as well. And it mixes the three of those together really, really well, and they do.
This scene, and I'll probably bring it up. I believe it's the next minute. There is a great sequence. This whole scene is just great music mixing, and I think it really shines in like just how good the score of this movie is. Like, this is when the score really kind of shines for me.
Yeah.
But like, and again, I'll get more into what sticks out for me in the next minute. But they do so well with getting these tones and these mixes and things you wouldn't really expect to mix together so well and sound so natural.
Yeah.
I just want to give a big shout out to Daniel Pemberton for doing such an amazing job with this score. Because it really is incredible. It might be my favorite movie score. Next to Star Wars, because
it's Star Wars.
It's Star Wars. Yeah. Like, I'm a sucker for an orchestra. What can I say?
It's definitely up there among like really good scoring.
It's incredible, and I know we're going to talk about it more in future minutes, but it continues to blow me away every time I really take note of it. And on that note, that is all we have for this minute, everybody. Thank you for listening. Tune in on Friday for minute 54 and see where this scene takes us. Thanks for listening.
Bye.